Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivadadari, Jaya Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivadadari, Yasoda Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Janaranjana, Munatira Vanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Munatira Vanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivadadari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivadadari, Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade, Gaura Bhaktivedanta, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar Shivasade, Gaura Bhaktivedanta, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Punityananda, Advaita Shivasade Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Radha Shivasade Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Pada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Haribo Nichai go Haribo I go Haribo Nichai go Haribo Go Premanandi Haribo The microphone's not working. Not that I need it loud, but some people might want to listen online. So I just got to go and get someone to adjust the microphone. Hare Krishna. Or maybe they just plug it into another one. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, it's the other one. Mic 2, is it? Yeah, that's it. Just into mic 2. Hare Krishna. So there's nothing there. Haribol. Haribol. No. Don't worry. I suppose I can just do it without. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. We're just reading from the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, as it is by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The chapter is the universal form. We're on text 43, and we're just going to recite the Romanized Sanskrit. Pitasya lokasya chara charasya Tvam asya pujasya cha guru guriyan Na tvat samoste abhyaite geha kutaneo Loka tre pi apritima prabhava Pita, in response please, Pita, the Father, Asi, you are, Lokasya, of all the worlds, Kara, moving, Acharyasya, and non-moving, Tvam, you are, Asya, of this, Puja, worshipable, Cha, also, Guru, master, Guryam, glorious, Na, never, Twat Asyam, Satsayam, thank you, equal to you, Asti, there is, Abhyadikaha, greater, Kuta, how is it possible, Anya, other, Lokatraye, in the three planetary systems, Api, also, Apritam Prabhava, of immeasurable power. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. You are the Father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and non-moving. You are its worshipful chief, the Supreme Spiritual Master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds? O Lord of immeasurable power. In response, please, you are the Father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and non-moving. You are its worshipful chief, the Supreme Spiritual Master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instruction to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master or transcendental a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matters. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him, No one can excel him. This is stated in the Svetastvaya Upanishad 6.8. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, has senses and a body like the ordinary man. But for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart and everything else. Krishna is absolute. Therefore, his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Jamna kamachim adivyam evam yo veditapvata taktam deham punajamma naitimam itso arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body activities and perfection after quitting his body returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna. That will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servants. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.142 confirms Ekale Swara Krishna Are Shabda Vrichya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Om Akina Tadamanda Shagananjana Shalaikaya Shakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manam Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Badanti Swabadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're as we look at the Bhagavad Gita, there's in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada makes it very simple for us to look into the Bhagavad Gita, because he states the 5 main subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, which is the Ishwara, the Supreme Person, Ishwara, Krishna, the Jiva, the living entity, Prakriti, material nature, Kala, time, eternal time, and Karma. Out of these 5, one is temporary, and that one which is temporary is the karma, is our misuse of our free will, trying to enjoy separately than Krishna, and we entangle ourselves in the material world. So the Bhagavad Gita is by Srila Prabhupada is actually it's a highway code. It's like how to actually drive a vehicle, like the vehicle of the body. Like you drive it on the road. If you drive a car on the road, you need to know the laws, the best way to get around without getting into trouble. Don't drive down the one-way streets or drive down the wrong way on the motorway. So the same in the Bhagavad Gita, it gives the direction how to, engage yourself as a spirit soul in service to God, which is the safest route for the living entity in the material world, ultimately. So we're actually on the chapter 11, and previously in chapter 10 was entitled Opulence of the Absolute. Could you sit that side? Sorry to trouble you. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So actually chapter 10 is the Opulence of the Absolute. And where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, Arjuna is as we know, this is just before a great battle about to take place, the Battle of Kurukshetra. And Arjuna's been pulled up on a chariot. He's asked Krishna to draw the chariot up between the two armies. And in between those armies, he's looked over the other side of the battlefield, Arjuna has, and he's seen on the other side all his kinsmen, all his relatives, his grandfather, his cousins, his uncles, his guru, and he's become very upset. And Krishna, by his mercy, has set the scene for Arjuna to become forgetful, even though Arjuna is an eternal servant of Krishna and an eternal associate, a pure devotee. Krishna's, through his mercy, he's covered Arjuna as almost like just a common man at that point. Arjuna's forgot himself. He's forgot his spiritual knowledge. And so he's asking Krishna many questions. And so they're speaking. Krishna has a chance to recite the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God. And it's originally spoken throughout time immemorial. And in this 10th chapter, Arjuna's asking to hear about Krishna's opulences. And Krishna's telling Arjuna, reluctantly, okay, I'll tell you some of my opulences, but only the opulences you can understand. And he hears it's about 82 opulences, Krishna numbers. He gives Arjuna 82 examples. And but Krishna, Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda, Sita Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki. But obviously Krishna's unlimited. He's what would you call it? A Shesha. Krishna's a Shesha. He doesn't have 82 opulences. He doesn't have 182. He doesn't have 1,000,000. He has unlimited opulences. So Arjuna's hearing about these opulences, and in the last verse of chapter 10, Krishna explains that I pervade and support this entire universe. So Arjuna, after hearing all these opulences, he asks, "No, can I see that? Can I see that which is pervading and supporting this entire universe?" So that's at that point then Krishna starts to manifest his universal form. So this is the 11th chapter, where the universal form becomes engaged. Krishna actually shows his universal form, and Arjuna is asking to see this form to actually help the common man understand the opulences of God and his unfathomable opulences, because it's hard for the average person also to understand on a spiritual platform or to imagine spirituality without sincerely inquiring. So the universal form is very captivating. There's a number of reasons why Arjuna has to see this universal form. It's not just for the eyes, but also it gives a proof that there's many persuado spiritualists, many people, incarnations of God so-called, that say, this person is God, he does magic, he does prapti siddhi, he brings something from a place, some dust in his hands and throws it, now he's God. But this is not so true, because Arjuna asked Krishna to show this universal form. Unless anyone can show a universal form, the Virat Rupa, what Krishna has shown on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, then we best not, one should not claim to be an incarnation of God, because there's only one supreme person. So he has that ability. So this is actually Krishna gives us this universal form. So Arjuna's given that question across to protect the common man, not to be fooled, because we get easily fooled these days by persuado spiritualists. And Arjuna, when he looks at this universal form, he can't see it straight away. So he has to ask Krishna to give him eyes to see the form, this universal form. And so Krishna actually gives him the eyes to see. And Arjuna's already got a spiritual vision, like divine spiritual vision, but what Krishna helps him do, he drops that vision, he drops it to a lower level, meaning to actually see the universal form. Arjuna's vision becomes the top of the material and the lowest of the spiritual, like a heavenly vision. Because actually the universal form is, even though it's extremely captivating and powerful, it's a material form. Actually, Krishna calls it the godless display of opulence. And so comparing that to like the devotional aspects, where a devotee is not really attracted to the universal form, a devotee is more attracted to is devotional activities where one should surrender to. If you're very welcome to go and speak outside, if that's all right, because there's a bag of So yeah, actually Krishna explains that if you want to, it's through devotional service. Devotion means to surrender of heart, a sincere approach, to offer to God. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yomi bhakti priyajate. One should offer with love and devotion a flower, a leaf, water, or fruit. If one is sincere in their heart, I'm preaching to myself. I'm not that sincere, but I've had a chance to come in and do some service today, just to try and follow the instructions and speak some Bhagavad Gita, and try to do some service myself, maybe. But it's actual devotional service that protects us. So this, we can actually become more closer to Krishna or closer to God when one is sincere in their heart. Like the father and the child. The father doesn't really need anything from the child. He wants love, probably, ultimately, reciprocation, but the child can't really offer much to the father materially. But if the child is like if the dad buys the child some sweets, and the child may become happy, and then the child is eating the sweets, and then he may through love to his father, he takes out this chewed up sweet and he offers it back to his dad. And then the father may reciprocate, that's his reciprocation. And he's enamored. The father's moved by love of the child, the offering. It's the offering. So Krishna, that's our situation in the material world. We a lot of the stuff we're doing is pretty chewed up. But Krishna's very kind. He sees the good in us. He sees I forgot the Sanskrit for it, but he sees only the good. He knows we're an ocean of faults. We're an ocean of, there's an ocean of darkness in this material world. We've all fallen away somehow or another. We've come away from Krishna, and we're in quite a troubled situation. Actually, it's an emergency situation. When you look at the potentials of the material realm from higher to lower, and how we can become entangled in samsara, in millions and trillions of births after birth, and which is quite, and the human form of life is actually our very fortunate situation. Is actually, Srila Prabhupada explains that, make the best of a bad bargain. Bad bargain is we've fallen into the material world. We're in a difficult situation, but we should make the best use of human form of life, which is to inquire, to ask questions, to question. And that's what it is for us to, the human form of life means a tata brahma jigyasa, inquiry of the self. Who am I? What's this place? Where am I going next? Why do I suffer? I can't take anything with me. We're weighing it up a bit. This is intelligence, because we're all valuable soldiers. We're all, we're not here very long. We've been brought together like straws on the ocean. The straws on the ocean brings the straws together for a little while. Then the winds of time separate them. We may be, of course, we're connected through some karma, for our previous activities. Obviously, we need to develop our compassion and love, take care of each other, to appoint our family members and see others as children of God. But the real mission is to serve and surrender one's heart to Krishna and his devotee, and take guidance. Because in the translation, Krishna's talking about the Father. He says, "You are the Father of the complete cosmic manifestation." In chapter 14:4, Krishna says, "I am the seed-giving Father," and so we're like all his children. We're like we're the parts and parcels of Krishna. He actually wants us to come back to him more than we do. Krishna is knocking on he can only knock so much because he's given us free will. So he's there, but when we turn to him, he's doing a big wave, and we take one step and he'll take 10. And he'll really help us. But we just need to stay connected. And the way to stay connected in this age of Kali Yuga is through chanting God's names, is Harinam Sankirtan. Is even in the Lord's Prayer, in the Christian Bible, that explains, "Hallowed be thy name." God's name is very powerful. The Lord and his name are non-different. So in Kali Yuga, the prescribed Yuga Dharma, the prescribed yogya for this age is to chant Krishna's names. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And before we chant Hare Krishna, we should chant the Panchatattva mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shavasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. See, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's in the middle there in the golden color. He's actually Krishna and Radha combined. He's Krishna, but in the mood of Radharani. He's very merciful. And next to him is Nityananda, the Panchatattva, the 5 truths. The Lord manifests his incarnations. And the one in the blue there is Nityananda. He's very merciful. That's Lord Balaram. And away to Acharya is Shiva and Vishnu combined. Gadadhar is Radharani's energy in the red there on the right of Lord Chaitanya, and the last one, Srivas, is Narada Muni, the Jiva. So when we chant the Panchatattva mantra, this helps neutralize the offenses that we may chant when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, because we're very offensive, actually, most of us. The most of conditioned souls, when we first start chanting, you chant, there's different stages of chanting. The first stage is Nam Aparad, is chanting, Aparad, offensive chanting. Then there's Namabas, the twilight, like when the sun's coming up, but you can't see the sun yet. The sky starts to brighten up, and that's the twilight of the holy name. And then there's Nam Sudanam, pure chanting of the holy name. But so when we chant Hare Krishna, we should just keep chanting the holy name, and gradually we become purified. Because our hearts, I don't mean to sound bad, our hearts are a little unclean. It's kama, krodha, lobhya, mada, moha, lust, anger, pride, and greed, and madness and illusion. All this can't be taken away by artificial means, by just meditation. And this is beneficial meditation, but only through devotional service, Krishna will reciprocate with mercy to clean the heart, because nothing else can clean pride and lust and anger. Only God's mercy, ultimately. So that's why it's so beneficial to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. It's and as I was saying, in the end, everything's got to go away, and we're like, straws on an ocean. But Prabhupada explains that everyone has to fly their own plane at a certain point. Every man has to fly, or woman has to fly their own plane, because at the time of death, I don't want to sound too, too callous, but just one sure thing, we have to leave this world. But Prabhupada explains we've done many, many studying in our life. We do many commitments, but we commit so much to the material, but we need to commit more to the spiritual. And he explains about the final lesson, about the most important lesson of our life, which is actually preparation for leaving this world. And so this is our sadhana, our practice, is to read, chant, and hear, and hear the scriptures, hear the Bhagavad Gita, or read it ourselves. Try to make that time. So I was talking about the Father, and we're his children, and we're the jivas. We're tatastha shakti. We're marginal. We are of spirit, but we've come into the material world, and we're thinking with the body. Most of us, which I do as well. I'm in the process of chanting and becoming purified, but it's a long road for me. Prabhupada says you can have Krishna consciousness in one moment, or it may take many lifetimes. It depends on your enthusiasm and your sincerity, and then Krishna reciprocate. But we're in the body, but we're not this body. We're actually the spirit soul. We're part of Krishna's energy. We're Krishna's servant, but we've come into his material energy. And the material energy is like when I was talking about the Father. The material energy is Mother Nature, Prakriti, and we're covered by the material energy, thinking we're this body. And that's the first stage in Krishna consciousness, is to understand we're not this body. I'm not this body. I am a spirit soul. Jivara Sarupya Hai Krishnaya Nichadas. We're all actually eternal servants of Krishna. We're constitutionally a servant. That's our original nature. And that's where the freedom is. The freedom is in surrender. The victory is there in the in the adventure where we have to make a big step to actually say a big step, but to surrender to Krishna. Try to. And there's different stages of surrender, of course. And then Krishna explains he's the chief in this translation. And in the 10th chapter, it explains, of all the priests, he's the chief. He's Brihaspati. And he's the chief of all the demigods. Indra's the king of heaven. He's one of the main principal demigods. He also is. Then he also explains that Kartikeya, the chief of generals of the battlefield, he's also Kartikeya. Everyone comes from Krishna, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. And on this other part, he explains. He talks about the spiritual master, and actually, Krishna is the original spiritual master of. Krishna is such a good example himself, obviously, and Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the form of a devotee. When Lord Chaitanya came to earth, he also took shelter of a spiritual master, Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri was so humble, Lord Chaitanya said, I want to take shelter of you, and Ishwarapuri said, I'm illiterate, I don't know anything. All I know is to chant the holy name, and you just surrender to Krishna. We go back home, back to Godhead. And that's all Lord Chaitanya wanted to hear. And he took shelter of Ishwarapuri. Lord Ram had a guru, Krishna's guru was Sandapani Muni, Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna says, I'm the spiritual master, he's actually the head of the spiritual master, meaning giving us instruction through Parampara, the chapter 4, text 2. This knowledge was passed down from Vishnu to Vivishwan, the sun god, from Vivishwan to Manu, from Manu to Ishwaku to, it's coming down in a line of succession. Everything comes in a succession. Otherwise, it's not bona fide. It has to be distipic succession. There's 4 different sampradayas, bona fide sampradayas, but we're in the Lord. Srila Prabhupada explains Lord Brahma's our head of our sampradaya, Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya sampradaya. And so this knowledge is coming down, but over time, sometimes, as time goes on, it appears to be lost, this knowledge. And that's when the devotees get a little bit, a bit worried maybe. And like a great example was back 500 years ago when Lord Chaitanya's dear devotee Advaita Acharya on the end there with the beard, he was seeing how materialistic society was going, and the so-called religionists or priests were all being bought out they would become a bit money mad and a bit fame. What do you call too interested in their prestige? So he prayed by the banks of the river Ganga with his Shaligram Shila, and he was in heartfelt, and he said, "Dear Lord, please come. We need you down here to straighten things out." Yadu yadu hey dharmashyaglanir bhavati bharata. That's Krishna's mission statement. Whenever there's a rise of irreligion and a degradation of religious principles, at that time I descend, I come to rescue the devotees, annihilate the miscreants, re-establish principles of religion. So Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, he's from line of succession, disciplic succession, like these great devotees up there. It's just a part of the succession, but on the right, there's Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and there's next to him is his Guru Kishoredas Babaji, and then Guru Kishoredas Babaji initiated Bhaktivedanta Thakur's son, Bimala Prasad, which is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The second one, and then Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur initiated Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, anyone would glorify Prabhupada. He's so humble, with all his heart, he says, "It's the mercy of my spiritual master. Everything's coming through the mercy of my Guru." And so that's the mood of the Vaishnava. Amaginatra Mandasya Ganangana Salaikaya Chakshumilitam Yina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I'm born in the darkness of ignorance. I'm born in this material world in the darkness of ignorance. And my spiritual master has opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. So through the spiritual master's transcendental sound is transcendental sound. Through hearing Shabda. Krishna explains, I am the sound in ether, the ability in man, but it's the most finest element is the ether, and that's where sound travels. And transcendental sound doesn't just travel in the ear. If one is sincerely inquiring, then it can go into the heart. Krishna gives the intelligence. Dadami buddhiyogam tam yinamam apiyante te. If you approach with love and devotion, if you approach me with love and you come to me, I give you the knowledge by which to come. I'll give you the knowledge by which, if you sincerely inquire. So this is the mercy of the spiritual master. And this is why we do need guide. We need guru, ultimately. In time. We need instructing. We need a bit of guidance. We're a bit off course in the material world. My Guru Maharaj is very, very humble. He's very humble anyway, but he said, someone said, "Oh, Guru Maharaj, you're doing so well. You did this, you did that right. But you told this person that," and I forgot what he said. He said, but actually he said, "We're all wrong." He said, none of us are that right. He said, "Also, we won't be down here. We're in the material world. Somehow or other, we went a bit wrong and we ended up." So sometimes when we think to ourselves, if we're arguing with someone, thinking, "I'm right, I got it right." You might be right in some case, but if we think it on a higher level as all spirit souls, and we've all got it a bit wrong because we stepped away from Krishna, and we're all down in the pot of kitchery being swirled around in the washing machine. That's So I've had quite a few things here I was going to look at or put across, but I can sort of. Has anyone got any questions? Because we've got about 10 minutes left. I'm just checking if anyone wants to ask anything. Hare Krishna.
Forgive me if I sound provocative, because there's no intention.
No, please, come on.
It's just a question.
No, good.
You mentioned chanting earlier on, and the first level of chanting. What was it you said?
It's called Namaparad.
Yeah. What was the English translation that you?
Offensive.
Now, can you explain what was offensive? What that term means at that stage of chanting?
Yeah. No,
No,
please.
Because often chanting, when somebody, I'll only speak for myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't speak for anyone else, but I'm sure it's a human weakness.
Oh.
Which is that when you start chanting, you know you've got your quota to fill.
Yeah.
And when does chanting become just a quota to fulfill that you've got to get your rounds in to the point where it actually starts? So it goes into mechanical
Out of mechanic.
stress
Yeah.
and anxiety to get it in because that will bring you closer to something on a race level.
Something that where you really want to do it no matter what. Or
But when it starts to suddenly speak through you, if you see what I mean.
yeah.
I can, if anything learnt in a habitual way, whether I was to say samosa chap 108 times a day, samosa chap, I could have a spiritual experience because
Yeah.
it's words.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so
pra-
I'm looking for I'm interested in hearing where it comes from.
first of all, so when we chant Hare Krishna, we're this is God has many names and many forms, and many people, devotees, did ask, what's the difference between chanting Jesus and Allah. And Prabhupada said these are names of God. Try to chant with devotion, but he said, but if you chant Hare Krishna, he said the difference is like if you're chanting Allah, it's like taking the stairs. But if you chant Hare Krishna, it's like taking in a lift. You go up. It's a faster process. Now the first stage of Namabhasa. It's funny when we say Namaparad because people that get serious in Krishna consciousness, that actually seriously come, usually sometimes it's not mystical, but it's quite esoteric. They may have chanted Namabhas without knowing, because there's sometimes people walking down the street drunk out on a Saturday night, and the Harinam's going past, Hare Krishna, and they're going, Hare, 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 get your hair cut and all that stuff. And some people shout, Hare Krishna, and they don't realize it, they're chanting without offense. They may not be chanting purely, but without offense. And that's a Namabhas. And what that does is destroy their material life in a good way. And they'll somehow or other, they'll come to Krishna consciousness. And then once you come into Krishna consciousness, you start chanting, because there's 10 offenses, the 10 offenses. There's 10 offenses in chanting. It's in the book there, whilst one of the offenses is, seeing the demigods on the same level as Krishna, but you're not understanding that actually Krishna is the supreme of all, and not understanding who the spiritual master is, and also being inattentive whilst chanting when you're looking at other things. It's not bad. It's not like, oh, you're bad for doing it. It's a very fine line, but you should never give up chanting, because the only remedy for offensive chanting is more chanting, because the holy name is so, it's beyond our comprehend. It's the heartbeat of the soul. It's eternal, and it's Krishna's mercy, because you're giving yourself to Krishna, and so you just keep chanting, and that's the remedy for actually offensive chanting is to keep chanting. And your quota, it's good to do your quota because you're following your duty. That will give you good benefit. And Krishna understands. He sees. He take the essence of what you're doing. He won't go, oh, you rushed that one. Let's see. We're like kids. We're babies. When the baby's kicking dad's leg, and and you got to hold his hand or he'll fall over. That's our situation. And Krishna can see that. But as time goes on, they do say after 25 years, by 30 years of chanting, you should be getting a bit more of a taste. I mean, I've been chanting about 25 years, and sometimes it's like I just started yesterday. I was chanting better 25 years ago. But no, that's sometimes it's the process. But you stay on the boat. It's fail-safe system. It's to stay connected. And like I say, Krishna conscious, Prabhupada said you can have it in a second, or it may take could take thousands of lifetimes. Sometimes we're chanting inattentively, and it's like cooking with smoke. They call it cooking with smoke. But we need to, that's why it's good to chant early in the morning if possible. And even more beneficial is to chant with the devotees if you can. It depends how much but the more chanting you do, the more you'll want to do this, because Krishna will give you more intelligence. You'll see you're trying more, and he'll pull you in more on the rope. And you'll want to get up a bit earlier, because the best time to chant is, early, like, 4:45, after Mangalarti, or even before Mangalarti if you're really fired up. I know some devotees, they chant at 2 or 3 in the morning. They just get on with their service. They're pretty up, not that they think they're up there, they're very humble, but that's a good platform. So we see that and we get aspiration. That's what inspires us. That's why it's so nice to have association, the Sadhu Sangha, and the great mercy of Srila Prabhupada to bring ISKCON together, whichever, good or bad, as a movement, so we can, as conditioned souls, we see others being, or in God consciousness, we actually see it's real. It's not just in the book, and it's not just in our mind. Oh, look, that person's fired up. He's always doing that. Look how he's always chanting, and then this thing's happened, and he's not bothered. But why am I so bothered? I need a piece of that, you know. So it gives us inspiration. I come in sometimes in the morning to chant around Tulsi, and I see some of the same devotees that have been here years, just sat there and chanting, and they've got a taste. And we should pray to Krishna for a taste. Please give me a taste for chanting. And but Krishna sees you're hanging on. You know, that's the main thing, is we hang on. And obviously, it doesn't have to be an emergency, but we try to go, you know, be sincere. And there we are. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Haribol. Okay, it's sort of 3 minutes to Arti, or 4 minutes. I think maybe we'll stop now. Yeah, okay. Hi, Hare Krishna. Entourage Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanandi, Haribol.